Hello, my friends. Very happy to be with you. This is Dr. Rodrigo Rodriguez. I hope you consider me also your friend. And I'm very happy to be with you like every week. Every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And with a rerun every Saturday morning. Beautiful time to listen to any broadcast like this, cup of coffee, you're at home, you can go out to the porch, and then you can listen to this information that I hope you find useful and important. And that's 9:30 a.m. every Saturday, Eastern Standard Time, through Truth Be Told Radio Network. And you're listening to us through that, and you can also listen to this program every time you feel like it. Every time you want to get more and more information, you can go to Spotify and search Truth Be Told Radio Network, and you will hit all our broadcasts. We have produced over 100 programs, all sorts of subjects, all sorts of situations, health situations, prevention, vitamin, mineral supplementation, health maintenance, what to do if you have cancer, what to do if you have a critical diagnosis. In other words, we're giving you all the information that I feel is very important to educate yourself and to learn how to take care of your body. That is my number one priority. You can also go to the social media of your choice. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and click on me, get more information, and also you'll have the possibility of asking a question. You can ask a question, you can have a free consultation, you can do a lot of things in order to be guided, not only educated, but also guided through these many times difficult situations where you don't know what to do, where to go, what to eat, what not to eat. And with all this news and all this information that we get all the time, it is very important to have an advice that will always be on your side. I'm going to be always behind you, and I'm going to tell you what's good for you, and of course I'm going to point at the things that I don't agree with what we normally do. Of course, you will hear me saying over and over again that cigarette smoking is deadly, and we shouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. If you anybody smoking and you have no power to control that, get away, move out. But make sure you don't expose your body to anything that you don't want. And all this is important because we were given a body that works in perfection, that was created in perfection. And this body, like any other thing on earth, requires maintenance, requires care, requires doing something about it so it keeps in good shape. And when I say care, let me refer that once again, because it's important to know that caring is a proactive verb. It is not a passive condition. You don't care for someone if you're not doing anything for him, for her. You don't care for anything if you don't proactively pursue something on behalf of that thing. In other words, caring means being productive. And when I went to the Oxford Dictionary, I thought, well, let's see if I can find better words to say it. And yes, I found them. And I heard that caring is the provision of what's necessary for health, welfare, maintenance, and protection of someone or something. And it implies, of course, safekeeping, supervision, custody, charge, etc. All of these things tell you that I have to move. I have to go forward to care. I don't care for you if I do nothing for you. You cannot say, I care for you and keep sitting down. However, if you're watchful and providing and protecting someone, yes, you're caring. We say caring very lightly. And what we actually mean many times is, you matter to me. You are important to me. How many times you tell somebody, oh, I care for you. You don't care if you're not there for that person. If you don't safekeep, if you don't protect, if you don't do anything on that person's behalf, on their health, on their welfare. That is caring. Caring is what our parents do all the time. Ever since we're born, they care for us. They make sure we eat. They make sure we're protected. They make sure that we're kept from the elements. They make sure that we're happy. They make sure we go to bed. They make sure a lot of things. They care and care and care 24 hours, 7 days a week. Our parents never stopped caring for us. And I couldn't have chosen a better example of what care is. Now, they don't sit down. No, they are constantly on the move to make sure that everything around us is perfect and good and helps us and makes us happy. That is what care is. And that's what we have to provide to our bodies. Now, when I say I'm going to care for something that's alive, I'm going to care for you because you're my friend. I'm going to care for you because I love you. I'm going to care for my body because that is one of the tasks that God gave me when He gave me this body. He asked me to take care of my body. So when you do that, then is when I say, well, we are bio-caring. Because it's not the same thing to take care of a car than to take care of a living thing. And when I say living thing, not necessarily humans, what about our pets? We many times go really out of the way to make sure that our pets have the comfort and health and welfare they deserve to us. They are important to us. We do that for our plants, for our garden. We go out and fertilize and clean and chop branches and do a lot of things because we want that garden to be beautiful and blooming. That is what BioCare is. And I want you to use that as a reference because it's very important for us to understand that this body of ours has been given to us with the responsibility of taking care of this body. And like with everything else, we need education. We know a little bit of know-how. We need to say, what can I do for my body that's going to work for its welfare and health? Not just dump food on it, dump calories, dump bad fats, dump no sleep nights because we're partying, no smoking because we think we enjoy it. And the funny thing is that many times we do things that we think that because they produce a little bit of enjoyment, that they're good for us. Like having a pint of ice cream. That's not healthy. Having a 16-ounce steak, that's not healthy. And they say, oh, but it makes me happy. Yes, but that's why we say BioCaring. Because it's not only that you like it, it's not only that you enjoy it, it's that you're safekeeping. And you know that if you smoke or if you have that pint of ice cream, you're not safekeeping your body. You're not really taking good custody of it if you take it 2-3 nights a week to go out in the town and have fun and drink and cut your hours of sleep and rest that your body badly needs. So, what I want you to reflect on this part of the program is what care means, what BioCare means, and whether or not you're being good at it, whether or not you're really taking care of yourself, whether or not are you really taking care of your children. Once again, I see many parents doing terrible things with children. I say, why you give your children that? Because they like it. No, they don't like it. We taught them to like it. We started educating them in the wrong way. So no, that's not what they want. That's not what they need. Remember when your mother told you, eat this because it's good for you? Well, we have to keep on doing that. Why? Because children do not necessarily understand what foods, what environments, what behaviors are safe and good for them. That's why they need a caring parent to safekeep, to supervise, to guide. You follow me? That is really, that is really caring. That is really caring for your family, for your children. I'll be right back with you. My friends, happy to be with you. I'm Dr. Rodrigo Rodriguez, and I've been talking today about BioCare, what it means, what it is, and why it's so important. How it implies a number of actions. It's a very proactive condition. If you're not being proactive, you're not caring for anything or anyone. Just to say, I care for you doesn't mean anything, and it's not actually caring. What you're really saying is, you matter to me. You're important to me. But caring means, I'm going to make sure, I'm going to be very proactive, I'm going to move to guarantee, to supervise, to give you means to be healthy and with welfare and have a good maintenance and protection and so on. So it means I have to get out of my way, actually get out of the way to say, I'm going to help you with this, I'm going to help you with that. That's what caring is. And when we BioCare, we're caring for us, we're caring for our pets, we're caring for our plants, our garden, in other words, for our fellow living things that are in our environment. I work in a hospital, and I see a lot of patients coming to to the hospital. And many of them, when I see them, unfortunately, I can say that they don't understand what BioCare is. They don't understand what taking care of themselves is. They, unfortunately, we were never given an owner's manual. We don't know how to do things. When we buy a washing machine, we read the instructions. When a baby is born, nobody tells you. And as you grow up, nobody informs you. So we have to educate ourselves in order to have more and more information about what to do. So when I see people, I see them with so simple things happening to them because they didn't know better. Let me give you one of the simplest examples, which I see very frequently. Dehydration. What's dehydration? Well, the body needs a certain amount of fluids that are mainly supported by water. Plain water. Okay? Don't think of soda pop, don't think of beer, don't think of juice, don't think of smoothie. No, they're supported by water, plain water. And also, don't think of distilled water, because we were born in conjunction to an environment that provides our body with minerals through water. So distilled water doesn't have any of them. So don't drink distilled water. Get good quality spring water. And yet, in this time and age, coming from a big city or anywhere in the United States, people come dehydrated. Why? Because they don't know how to take care of themselves. They just drink when they think they're thirsty. They don't drink when they are very busy. They don't drink when they're on the run, etc. And many times people say, but doctor, I've been having 4 glasses of water or 6. Yes, but you live in an office. And offices are one of the worst environments for hydration. Why? Because they're all the time they're enclosed and they have some sort of temperature support system, heating or air conditioning. Any of them is going to be drawing water from your body. Any of those things are going to dry your skin. And there is a loss of water that we don't see, we don't feel. But there's something that we all do all the time. We never stop doing it. And that's breathing. And when we're breathing, the water always goes from the wetter to the drier place. So when you breathe in dry air, a lot of water from your lungs is going to be transferred to that air and expelled out of the body. We are actually all the time putting water out through our respiratory system. And we know that. Let me give you a hint. If you close the windows of your car in the winter, what do you see in the windows? You see this fog that concentrates on the glass surface. That's air with water that's coming from our bodies. And we don't see anything. If we were not in that condition, we would never notice it. But when we're in an office, there is no way we can tell we're losing a lot of water. And then you say, well, I just had some water. Yes, but you're drying it. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's one of my favorite things to tell people, because many times we don't know how to learn or how to read rather how to read the messages that our body delivers. How you know you have a good level of hydration? Forget about I have to drink 5 pints, I have to drink 7 pints, I have to calculate my body weight by blah, 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 blah. Forget about all that. Because it's going to be different in different environments. If you're in a room that's with a heater on, you're going to lose a lot more water than if you're in an open air environment. Because humidity in the air is right there and you're not going to be losing that much water. So how you know you're drinking enough water? Very simple. We all go to pee. Watch your urine. Watch the water in the bowl when the urine comes out. If it's very yellowish, you're not drinking enough water. If it stains your clothes yellowish, you're not drinking enough water. If it smells like urine, you're not drinking enough water. So what is your goal? Your goal is a almost clear urine, virtually no smell, very little, and no stains in your underwear. That means you're drinking enough water and your kidneys not having to do any effort to concentrate the urine. When we don't have enough water in our system, the body knows that that water is very important. It's essential. So it goes on drought mode. Not enough water, I have to start saving water. And where do we lose a lot of water? Through urine. Not that we lose it, it's a way that the body has to compensate if we drink too much or if we drink too little. But if we drink too little, then the kidneys are going to have to do an extra effort in concentrating the urine so they can rid of waste material in the same amount of waste material in much less water. That means my urine is going to be very concentrated. And that concentrated urine is going to be exactly doing what I've been telling you. It's going to be very yellow, it's going to be very smelly, and it's going to stain. You need more water. You need to dilute that urine. And the only way the body is going to do it is if the body has enough water. I'm going to tell you another very important thing. And when we go through flu season, and we have all sorts of problems and coughing or anything like that, and we say it, we use the expression, a dry throat, etc. We have to drink water. And I tell people, if you start coughing, you get a glass of warm water, drink it in one gulp. That water is going to go in your body, is going to immediately go to the blood, is going to make the blood thinner, and that water is going to make the secretions of your throat, the secretion of your lungs, thinner. And then next time you cough, everything is going to come out. And you will not be coughing and coughing and coughing. What people do, people buy a syrup, which is going to further concentrate those secretions the body wants to get rid of. But if you drink water, you're going to help. Syrups cannot help. They're going in the opposite direction. Just plain water. Plain warm water. And then you have another coughing spell, another glass of water. And I tell people, every time you have a cough spell, you have one glass of water. Can do no harm. It's natural. It doesn't have any chemicals in it that you don't want in your body. Contrary, it has good things for you. Nothing is more natural than that. And everybody knows that if you have a coughing situation, a moist environment is good. That's why in the old times they used to put something with boiling water and leaves like eucalyptus and things like this, because they can help to drain secretions in the body. And we're talking about water all the time. We're not talking about a lot of science. We're not talking a lot about chemicals and medicines. We're not talking about prescriptions. We're talking about the wonderful things of water and that water can do for you. And I tell you because I'm a doctor. I see patients and I can see a lot of people whose main problem is they didn't pay attention to all those warnings. It's your body. It's your health. Costs you nothing. A little bit of care, supervision, and proactiveness. I'll be back with you. My friends, I'm Dr. Rodrigo Rodriguez. I'm talking to you through the courtesy of Truth Be Told Radio Network. We play these broadcasts every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you can listen to it again every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But what's more important is that if you go to Spotify and you search for Truth Be Told Radio Network, you're going to find us, and you're going to find over 100 transmissions, over 100 broadcasts about health and prevention and health maintenance and disease and diagnosis, etc., you name it. But you can also go to the social media of your choice and join me. And I hope you follow me. And I hope that you keep getting informed because this is important information. It is important thing. We have to educate ourselves to know how to deal with our bodies. And believe me, many times you will not find this sort of advice anywhere. These are over 100 hours. How many hours do you have to talk to your doctor every time you go to the office? See? But if you learn more and more and more, next time you're with the doctor, you're going to be able to ask a question which is going to be a lot more directed to the health issues that matter to you, that are important to you. Furthermore, if you go to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and you ask a question, I will be very happy to send you an answer. I'll be very happy to give you my point of view and help you to make a decision or to guide you in anything. You don't have to believe everything I say. You can question it, you can call me, you can ask me, and I'm going to be there for you because I love to see people that are very proactive with their health, that are caring. We have mentioned already that caring is a proactive verb. It's not a passive thing. So I love people that care for themselves, people that BioCare themselves. You see, because as a good friend of mine put it, when you choose to BioCare your body, anything is possible. If you BioCare your body, you can work, you can travel, you can party, you can enjoy your life, you can keep your house, mow your garden, take your children out, go on outings, get on a raft. There's so many things that it's really true. When you BioCare yourself, when you choose to BioCare yourself, anything is possible. When you don't BioCare yourself, well, get ready for whatever life might bring you. I'm not saying you're doomed. All I'm saying, same as if you have a very good car, if you don't take care of it, it might last. But also, it might go in very bad situation in a very short time. You might have a piece of junk after so many years, even though you bought a very good piece of machinery. So we have to learn to take care of things because it pays, it really pays to be healthy. Because you're going to be in the long run spending a lot less money on yourself, health-wise, and spend it in a different way. What about a vacation you've been dreaming about? What about building an addition to your house? What about just having fun and taking care of your whole family? That is what's really important. And you will not achieve it if you don't choose to BioCare. So this is what we're talking about. And I was talking about how many times I have seen people that come to the hospital that are simply dehydrated. With the simplest substance of them all, they don't have enough water in their body. Why? Because they don't know how to take care of themselves. And once again, go to Spotify, search for Truth Be Told Radio Network, and you're going to listen to everything we have said about water. Or send us an email, send us a question on social media, and we will direct you to that recording specifically. So, yet the simplest substance of them all can be low, can be depleted in my patients' bodies. That's why many times at the hospital we begin by rehydrating people. I mean, something as simple as that, and it can change the way they function. Oh my God, it can do wonderful things for people. I mean, water is a miracle. It's actually at the core of the miracle of life. So when you rehydrate people, it can do wonderful things. But the same thing goes for other nutrients, which are more important, or more, I would say, a little bit more complicated to get, like vitamins or minerals. Did you know that mineral deficiency is the most important deficiency in America? I mean, we don't have enough minerals in our blood. We don't have enough to stave off disease. And that is also put by the Center for Disease Control that attests for that. It says that 40% of the American population is depleted in some basic nutrient. And you say, that's almost half of people. That's almost 1 of every 2. Why? Because we haven't done our homework. First of all, because we don't know. And that's why this program is so important. You have to know. You have to learn a little bit more about what is magnesium, what is sodium, what is manganese, what is titanium. All these minerals are very important to the body, and you have to learn where to find them, where you have them, and the best way to get them is by getting a very good diet. And by a very good diet, I don't mean expensive, I don't mean fancy, I don't mean anything. You just have to eat different things throughout the year, go to the farmer's market, and do our homework by learning what foods would be better for this, for that season. One thing is also very important to underline. There are no evil foods and there are not savior foods. We just have to learn what foods we take, what amount. And as a British nutritionist says, we should eat a little bit of everything and not anything in big quantities. Every time we start to love something, that something becomes a problem. even if it's a good food. So we have to learn to have a varied diet. And we have to learn all those things. Where are you going to learn? Who's going to tell you? Who's going to guide you? You have a friend, Dr. Rodriguez. Go to the platform of your choice and ask questions and think about it. And it deserves a conference call for the whole family. So tonight, when you are sitting at the dinner table, you can drop the question. Let's talk about biocaring ourselves. Let's choose to biocare ourselves. Let's care for each other. You help me, I help you. You supervise me, I supervise you. I protect you, you protect me. That is what family is for. But we have to use all that energy, all that time to do things that are going to make us grow as a family. That's going to create a healthier family. And then say, you're gaining weight. I don't know why, but we all hate when somebody tells you you're gaining weight. It sounds like very offensive. Yet, we should be very careful with that observation. We should say, that person might be right. And that is the dawn of an inflammatory condition. That's the beginning of a cancer. That's the beginning of high blood pressure. That's the beginning of diabetes. So as bad as it sounds, I have to pay attention. And remember that I have said it, and I want to repeat, that you don't have to go to the doctor immediately. You don't even have to get on the scale. You have to think if your belt fits the same today as it fit 2 months ago or the year before. And you can see the belt, and you can see the pressure on the little hole when it's tight. So that means you're gaining weight. And I mean the belt because the worst fat we can create is the fat that's in our abdominal area. Why? Because it has endocrinological implications. It modifies the hormonal function of the body. So if we have a big tummy, even if we don't look that fat, but we have this big tummy, that fat is doing something in our body that we don't want. So it's time to start losing it. That by watching what we eat, by watching our exercise activity, and by exercise I don't mean getting sneakers and running. But what about vacuum cleaning the house? What about walking around the block? What about taking more steps at the office? In other words, become more active. Be aware of your physical activity. Because the more you do, the better off you're going to be. And everything counts. If you climb a couple of floors, or if you vacuum clean, or you mow the grass, that is counting as a calorie expenditure and as an anti-inflammatory strategy. I'm going to be back with you, and I want you to listen to this and every program. My dear friends, I'm Dr. Rodrigo Rodriguez. I'm with you through the courtesy of Truth Be Told Radio Network. And I'm very happy, very grateful that you're taking the time to listen to these broadcasts, because I'm really doing them from the bottom of my heart, and I really enjoy talking to you and sharing what I know. Taking care of yourself is something that it takes time to learn. You have to educate about it. And I, as a doctor, as a person, come from a very caring environment. As a doctor, I come from what medicine teaches you, medical school teaches you. And they teach you that this person that looks or feels healthy you don't have to do anything with them. But this person that's sick, I have to find out what's wrong with that person. So I have to go to the laboratory, I have to go to the x-rays, I have to review the patient, I have to do this and that to know what is the problem. Because after I know, then I have to act. And that is, I'm going to do surgery or I'm going to write a prescription, that's almost for sure every single time. And then I'm going to see what happens. And when I was growing as a doctor, when I was beginning as a doctor, I became a doctor because I wanted to cure people. Big disappointment. Because the more I went, the more I realized that the deadly diseases, the deadly problems of our time, like cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, high blood pressure, strokes, you don't cure them. You can cure a fracture. I mean, if you're in a car accident and you break a bone, yes, I can cure that. What cure is? Going back to the condition you were before you got sick. Forget about it. I mean, many times you ask, I'm asking people about previous illness, and I said, "Would you any serious disease?" No, doctor, nothing. Did you ever break a bone? Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I was skating and broke my arm, but I almost completely forgot about it. That's cured. Have you ever been operated on? I don't remember. Appendix, tonsils. Oh yes, I had my appendix out and my tonsils out. But I was very young and I barely remember the thing. You see, that's been cured. But once you get cancer or diabetes or Alzheimer's, you're in that disease for good. So what do doctors do? We control the disease. And because we do not intervene before you're sick, there's no prevention. There is no predictive maintenance, which is what BioCare Hospital does. I want to see people before they're sick. I want to see people while they still look or think are healthy. Because many times just by looking at a person, I say, you know what? You might have a problem. And you are on the way of getting a problem. I just recently had a blood test. I went to check my vitamin D level. And the guy that took the blood, very nice guy and everything, he was a young guy, probably 35, 37. And he was taking my blood and we were having a small talk. And then he told me that he was very happy with his job, very happy with everything, that he was progressing, he was going up the ladder professionally, etc., etc. And he said, I'm very happy for you. And I said, however, and I have to excuse myself, you don't look that good to me. And you're enjoying a lot of things, and I hope you enjoy them for many years to come. So, the first thing I would tell you is that you could afford to lose some weight and be healthier. And I have to ask you, I'm checking my vitamin D. Do you know what is your vitamin D level? No. You have anybody in your family sick? My mother is diabetic. And you're beginning to gain weight? I said, you work in a lab. Why don't you do this, your sugar, your inflammatory levels, your vitamin D? And then he calls me a week later and he says, Doctor, thank you very much. Yes, my inflammatory levels are beginning to climb. My sugar level is within normal limits, but in the upper range. And I have certain problems that once you told me, I was thinking of. So I went to see a doctor, an internist that he chose. He put me on a diet. He started supplementing vitamin D. He started a light exercise program. He says, and in only, remember this is a 35, 37 years, in only a couple of months, my weight went down. I lost 5 pounds. I lost my inflammatory markers went back to normal. My sugar level was fantastic, couldn't be better. And my vitamin D has climbed from 15 to 30. He says, I'm so happy I talked to you. He says, I live among doctors. Nobody ever told me what you told me. And you know why? Because when I see people, I try to see what's happening. And I call that predictive maintenance. Why predictive? Because in many cases you can tell you are going to have some sort of a problem. If your mother or father or anybody in your family, an immediate family, is diabetic, well, that is a prediction. You might be diabetic in the future. I can do predictive maintenance with you. If anybody in your family had cancer, I have to check you. Prostate cancer seems to have a little bit of, I don't say that it is hereditary, but it has something to do with the same family. Breast cancer, or at least some types of breast cancers, have the same situation. So every time you go and visit a friend, or rather a family member that has a problem, you have to think, am I going to be the next? And it doesn't matter if your family member is 60, 70 years old and you're 30. The younger, the better to start biocaring, to start preparing, and to start with predictive maintenance. Because you don't want to go there. I have a friend, for example, that has a very strict living protocol. He takes very good care of his diet, he exercises, he does a lot of things, keeps his weight. And the funny thing is that many people make fun of that. So we were once in a reunion and everybody's teasing him because, oh, come on, you don't eat this, you don't drink, you don't do that. You have to get up at 6 o'clock because you have your bike activity, etc., etc. Oh, come on, you're missing the fun of life, etc. And his answer was very, very good. He said, you know what? My father and my mother are diabetic. And I know that once somebody tells me you're diabetic, my life will never be the same. So I changed my habits, I changed my lifestyle. I'm very happy with it. Everybody tells me I look fantastic because he's fit and trim. And what I eat, I like, I enjoy. I don't need alcohol, I don't need tobacco, I don't need to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't need that. I enjoy getting up at 6 o'clock and get on my bike, etc. So that's what we have to learn to do. And that's caring. Once again, very proactive. You change your foods, you change your habits, you change your physical activity programs. You change many things. You quit this, you quit the other. It's very proactive. But the minute you choose to biocare, because it has to be a choice, a well thought, a very well thought choice, once you choose to biocare you and your life, anything will be possible. You can start making plans. You can say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to travel, I'm going to Europe, I'm going to build a house. I've seen so many times people that say, I'm going to make a new house, I'm going to start building it, and then they get a heart attack or a stroke. Or they don't feel good, they go to the doctor, they have cancer. We're not living for that. We're not living to wait for that minute. You have some time? Ask a question. Learn how to do it. Better yet, you have some spare time? Don't go on a cruise boat, for goodness sake. Don't come to BioCare Hospital, be completely evaluated, and start doing something. Invest in the most important position you have. And then everything will be possible. Because you're going to be healthy for years and years to come. So, if you want to choose something, you have to choose a BioCare getaway. 10 days at BioCare will change your life. And we have many people that attest to that. And I'll be very happy to connect you with them. People that chose to take a 10-day vacation at BioCare Hospital and change all their lifestyles. And now they're very happy. And now they can do anything because their most important asset, which is their health and performance, is back in full possibility. I'll be with you in another week.